started. So WebDriver locators are ID of ID value, name, class name, XPath, CSS selector, tag name, link text, partial link text. So all these are called WebDriver locators. So all the locators are static methods in by class. So these are all static methods in the by class. So each method will return a by type. The return type of each method is by class type. Same class type it returns. So if you want to identify any element, you have to write WebElement element name equal to driver dot find element by dot locator of locator value. So that's the how you can use for any locator. Identifying element by ID. So WebElement element name equal to driver dot find element by dot ID value. So by dot ID value. And if you want to identify an element by name, single element, WebElement element name equal to driver dot find element by dot name value. Suppose, so name can be a duplicate. So a name can be same for multiple elements. Such cases you can fetch all those elements into a list collection, right? So how can you fetch them? List WebElement collection name equal to the parent element dot find elements by dot name value. That means in this parent element, so the elements which are common with this name locator, so those things we are storing in this collection, that is list type collection. So that is the parent element inside child elements you are fetching. But what about if many elements in the entire page having the same name? Then you have to use a reference is a driver reference. Here we used a parent element reference. So here you need to use a driver reference if it is in the entire page. So this is only in particular element inside child elements. So that is the difference you need to catch here. The find elements method can be used with a element and then find elements, or you can use a driver entire page reference dot find elements. Both are so different. So you can identify a single element with the class name. WebElement element name equal to driver dot find element by dot class name class value. So fetching all the elements with class from parent element. So list WebElement collection name equal to parent element dot find elements by dot class name a class value. By dot class name a class value. So that means in this parent element you can fetch all the child elements and you can store here. That's what the list of WebElements means. Fetching all the elements with the class name in the entire page. So this one list WebElement collection name equal to driver dot find elements by dot class name a class value. And you can identify a single element. You can fetch a group of elements with XPath, CSS, all the locators except ID. ID will be always unique, and link text and partial link text also unique. It won't be a duplicates. That is another thing, but let's see. So you can identify a single element, WebElement element name equal to driver dot find element by dot XPath value. Same fetching all the child elements in the parent element. So list of web element collection name equal to parent element dot find elements by dot XPath, a common XPath for all the child elements. So common XPath for all the child elements. Fetching all the elements by XPath in a browser. Fetching all the elements. So based on the XPath in a browser. So how can you do that? So list of web element collection name equal to driver dot find elements by dot XPath value. So by dot XPath value. Okay. So by XPath we got a three usages, with the find element and find elements. So even with a CSS selector also, you can identify a single element, you can identify multiple elements also. So web element name equal to driver dot find element by dot CSS selector CSS value. And so you can fetch a group of elements from the parent element. So list of web element collection name equal to parent element dot find elements by dot CSS selector, a common CSS selector you can give. So you have to build a common XPath if you want a group of elements, a common CSS selector you have to build it. So which elements are having a common thing you have to refer. So finds all the web elements using CSS selector in the entire browser. So list web element collection name equal to driver dot find elements by dot CSS selector CSS value. So by tag name, so identifying a single element using tag name locator. So web element name equal to driver dot find element by dot tag name tag. So we have to give the event tag also to identify the element. So fetching all the child elements from the parent element. List web element collection name equal to parent element dot find elements by dot tag name tag. So that means you can fetch in this parent element. Suppose many child elements you want to fetch based on the tag. You can use this simple thing. And you can fetch all the elements that are having a same tag in the entire page. So list web element collection name driver dot find elements by dot tag name tag you can give. How do you know number of links in the web page? So straightforward question, and the syntax you will write many times. So list web element links equal to driver dot find elements by dot tag name a. This is the fixed code. So you can use anywhere if you want all the web elements in the web page. All the web elements in the web page. So that is what this, so how to get all the links from web page. Size of the collection. System.out.println links.size. So you can get collection.size. So how can you fetch particular section links in web page? So identify the section, web element, section name equal to driver dot find element by dot locator value. So first you have to identify the parent element. From that parent element, you can get particular section links. See that list web element, that section links equal to section name dot, that means parent element name dot find elements by dot tag name a tag. So this section dot size you have to, so section links dot size. So this is the second scenario, how to fetch particular section links. So how can you fetch particular drop down options? How can you fetch particular drop down options? So first identify the drop down, web element drop down equal to driver dot find element by dot locator value. So that's the same as this one, right? So you are identifying the parent element, and that element inside you are fetching all the elements. Same drop down options, how can you fetch? So first identify the drop down, web element drop down name equal to driver dot find element by dot locator value. So that you are fetching the, first you are identifying the drop down. From this drop down you have to fetch all the options. Basically drop down inside options will be there. Each option has an option tag common. So that's why I'm using a tag name locator. So fetch all the options using find elements API, and tag name locator is option tag, and store in the list type collection. So the return type of find elements is always list web element. List web element options equal to drop down name dot, okay, which drop down? So that's what you identified here in this highlighted line. This is the drop down. From that drop down you are finding all the elements by tag name option tag. So how many elements in this drop down has a tag option? All those options will come and store in this list collection. So this is to fetch a drop down options, 2 lines of code. Next, how to identify the link? We already know that, okay, so you don't need to worry about that. So that's all about very simple program, the basics. Now let's understand the action methods. Let's understand the, you identified how to identify the elements now. So now we need to understand how to perform actions on this element. You identified a single element. You identified multiple elements. Then just identification doesn't help you, right? You need to perform action. So what type of action you can perform? So that is what we are going to see now. So WebDriver, so web element action methods. So web element action methods. So the syntax is browser reference, element identification, method name, or element name dot action method. So this is the syntax of action methods. The first method is click method. So it is used to perform the click action on link, button, checkbox, radio button, list box. So basically you will perform the click actions. If you want to perform click action, so you will use click method. So what is the syntax of click method? Driver dot find element by dot locator value dot click. That is a one way. Or you first identify the element, web element, element name equal to driver dot find element by dot locator value. So this element dot click method. So and element dot send case method. So you want to perform, so you want to perform the action, multiple actions on the same element. That time you use this format. Or only one time you are doing action on this web element. This is the web element, right? Web element dot click. So any one is fine. Okay. So that's how we are going to perform the actions. So second method, submit method. So if you want to perform the action on button and forms, so form edit box, so you will use a submit method. So when there is a button type attribute equal to submit, then on that button you can call this submit method. So the syntax of submit method is driver dot find element by dot locator locator value dot send keys of submit, not send keys, submit method. So driver dot find element by dot locator locator value dot submit method. That's a submission only on the buttons and on the forms. Third method, send keys method. Send keys method of value. So it is used to type the value in edit box. You want to type. So which method you need to use? Send keys method. So driver dot find element by dot locator locator value dot send keys value. So you can type this value in this edit box. Next, clear method. So it is used to clear the content in the edit box. So it is used to clear the content in the edit box. So driver dot find element by dot locator locator value dot clear method. So then how to select an option from Dropdown? So this is the one. Again, I'll already repeated these first two steps, and I'll repeat one more time. So first, identify the dropdown. How to identify any element? Web element name equal to driver dot find element by dot locator locator value. That's a one step. Second step, from that dropdown, you fetch all the options. List web element options equal to dropdown name dot find elements by dot tag name option. This doesn't change. So this is the fixed part. Only your drop-down name, what you have given here, that should come. Here it is a variable. This is the variable. And the next, this one is a variable. These two are the variables. You can make a function here. You can make a function also here. So that you can call this method wherever you want to select an option from the drop-down. Okay. See how you can iterate. So list web element OPTS equal to driver drop down name dot find elements by dot tag name option tag. So I'm iterating this collection using for each loop. For this collection data type is a web element. So that's what I written, web element. So option colon options list, right? So this O represent the each element of this options list. So you get the option text with the get text method, and then if the option text is equal to what you want to select, you can give your own input. This is the input and this is the another input. You have to take two parameters here. So one is a by type parameter and second one is a string type parameter. So you replace this entire lines of code with a function, parameterized function, and send me this. This is one exercise for you. Okay, so if it is equal, this option text and what you want to select, if both are same, you click on that option, then break it so that it will exit the loop. You don't need to iterate, keep on iterating, so it wastes of time. So that's how to select an option from drop down. So how to select an option? List box option. You want to select list box option. How can you select it? So identify first list box. Same as a drop down, but only tag name will change. Drop down options are having option tag. List box might have li tags, list of elements. So first you identify the list box. So web element list box equal to driver dot find element by dot locator value. So you need to click first. After clicking, the list of elements will open, or Google suggestions, something like that open, right? So then you fetch all those options based on the tag, li tag, into a list collection. So list web element options list equal to list box dot find elements by dot tag name li tag. So this entire list box you need to identify on the top of this line, and that list box you get all the elements which are having li tag. So then store here and then iterate. So loop it, same as a drop down. For web element, list of option, first option colon options list. So if any option text is equal to the what you want to select, is your input, and then click on that, break the loop. So this is the how to select an option from list boxes. So that's all the very important methods. I have given almost 6-7 elements I covered. First, if you want to perform a click action, so on which elements you can perform click action? Link, button, checkbox, and radio button. So on those elements you will perform the click action. So the syntax of click method is driver dot find element by dot locator value dot click method. Submit method. So you want to submit on the forms or buttons, you will use submit method. So driver dot find element by dot locator value dot submit method. And then third one, send keys method. You want to type the value in the edit boxes, you will use send keys, or some keyboard keys you want to send to the web elements, you will use a send keys method. So even enter keys, so send keys of keys dot enter. So you will press the enter key on that element. So you can send the keyboard keys also to web elements using send keys method. Not only typing, it will send the keys also. You want to clear the content in the edit box, then you will use a clear method. Then you can use a clear method. And if you want to select an option from drop down, so again repeating one more time, first identify the drop down. So what is the syntax? Web element drop down name equal to driver dot find element by dot locator value. I first identified the drop down. Then second step, fetch all the drop down options from a drop down using option tag. So list web element option list equal to drop down name dot find elements by dot tag name option tag, not options, okay, option tag. So how to select an option? So again, okay, you got all of them into collection, then you iterate them using for each loop. So for web element option colon options list, and then so you can choose which option you want to select. If option dot get text equals to what is your choice to select, so that option you give, and if both are same, you click on that option, then break it. Same you apply for the list boxes also. So we create a one function here. So the function you need to create, so maybe you give public void select an option, the method name, and parameters, two parameters you have to take. What are the two parameters? One is by locator, and second one is string option text. So expected option to select, that text as another parameter. So you replace here, this one you replace with the first parameter, and this entire thing you replace with a second parameter. That's the entire code you need to do, writing a function. So I have given entire code, but you have to write. I want to see how many of you can transform this code into function, because writing functions is a very crucial.
So, fine. Here, option and li is the standard for the drop-down and list boxes by tag name option and tag name li.
Sorry?
The list box we are passing the tag name option and the tag name li for the drop-downs and list boxes. Those are the standard
Yeah, those are
option.
the standard. You will see drop down always going to have a select a tag inside you have option tag. And list boxes are going to have li tag.
Okay. So in case if possible, those are we can parameters.
Huh?
We can pass that one as also parameter in case.
Which one?
That option and li.
Yeah, if you want, you can take another also. Yeah, you can make one function because the remaining entire code is same, right? But this list box, sometimes you have to click, then list will show. So based on that, you have to take a decision.
And one more question. So in the text box, we are using to send keys to enter the data. But after entering, I want to fetch the data of content of text box. So using get text get method only.
No, no. So that is a different method. I will give you that. Okay. So that method we are going to discuss after this no class. Let's join back and we will discuss those get element methods. Okay. Your element values you want to get it back. The getter methods, return type methods. These are all void methods. This is the void method. This is the void method. This is the void method. All these are void methods. They will just perform the action. That's it. They won't return any value to you. But the methods we are going to discuss now, every method returns a value from that element. Okay, so that's what we are going to discuss. Let's jump back. Okay. So let's join